What's up, music fans of the internet? I am Kevin.
I'm Derek.
And together we are last week's album, the only reviews with two different views. Normally, we're reviewing brand new albums for you. This week, however, we're going to give you the best albums of 2015. And we'll kick things off like we always do, drinking a beer. Cheers, Derek, and everyone at home.
Cheers, Kevin, everyone at home.
And for this list of the top 10 albums of 2015, I have picked 5. Derek has picked 5. And without further ado, why don't you just kick us off, Derek?
All right. Well, the first one off my list of no order is Strange Trails by Lord Huron. This was a band's sophomore album. And fun fact about it, this is kind of a concept album based on a screenplay written by the frontman. The screenplay existing only for the purposes of creating a story arc for this album. So the next time you have writer's block, just write a screenplay about what you're supposed to be writing about, and that should solve all problems. Overall, they really created a very intriguing story, strong lyrics, essential way of subtle, haunting sounds, just made for a really great listen.
Nice. First up on my list, in no particular order, is Alabama Shake's sophomore album, Sound and Color. They are a Southern soul rock quartet, if you're not familiar, obviously from Alabama. And this sophomore album came out back in April. I thought it sounds like Marvin Gaye and the Bee Gees and the Black Keys and Prince. It gave us great tracks like Dunes and Give Me All Your Love. Derek thought there was something here for everyone when we reviewed it. I thought it was muscular and liquid and classic and avant-garde all at the same time. And I personally thought it was an incredibly impressive follow-up to their debut. I was kind of lukewarm about their first album, but this one is amazing. So definitely check out Sound and Color by Alabama Shakes. And what's next on your list, Derek?
Next on my list, I had The Spirit Moves by Langhorne Slim and The Law. This was Langhorne's 5th album, second or third he did with The Law. I can't remember right offhand. But this was most notably the first album he recorded while sober. And so we kind of, in our review, asked the question, is this kind of did he become more preachy on this album? And we had mixed emotions on that, but overall, I know I really liked it. I thought he had a much more reflective, mature sound or tone of voice, but still really packed a powerful punch musically. So didn't, still maintained a lot of his classic sounds, but really showed a lot more depth lyrically. So I really enjoyed that one.
Yes, that was a good one. Next up on my list, however, is Courtney Barnett's really long titled Sometimes I Sit and Think and Sometimes I Just Sit album. She's from Melbourne, Australia. She's a singer, songwriter, guitarist. She had a few EPs and strong singles, but this is actually her debut album, and it still made our list. It's grungy, it's funny, vulnerable, and smart as hell. Key tracks like Pedestrian at Best and Preston. As its title alludes, this album will make you think. And in addition to some really amazing lyrics, she can shred guitar and compose songs really, really well. And this album put her on the map. She had a killer 2015, and rightly so. Definitely check out Sometimes I Sit and Think and Sometimes I Just Sit by Courtney Barnett. And what's next for you, Derek?
Oh, that was a great album. But next on my list is Let the Good Times Roll by J.D. McPherson. This was a highly anticipated debut album from the Oklahoma native, whose sound is really a revival of 50s influenced rock and R&B sounds. Overall, we thought it was very refreshing, this kind of reimagined sound, pulling from a number of genres and eras. And he really crafts some fun songs lyrically as well to go along with these familiar yet new sounds. So really just a fun listen, get you moving, great for dancing, everything. This album's fantastic.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I like that one. And next up is Girl Band with Holding Hands with Jamie. Fun fact, we actually reviewed this album while Derek was in Ireland, where the band is actually from. They are a noise rock band based there in Ireland. We discovered them at South by Southwest back in the spring and couldn't wait for their debut album, Holding Hands with Jamie. I compared it to 9 Inch Nails and LCD Sound System, watching Requiem for a Dream together. This album gave us great tracks like Umbongo, Paris for Lunch, Paul, Texting an Alien, which just sounds awesome as a title as well. It's noise rock that's as addictive as it is abrasive, and one of the most ambitious and fearless bands that I've heard in recent years. Can't wait to see what these guys do next as they get better and better. What's next for you, Derek?
I have Coming Home by Leon Bridges, a highly anticipated debut from this Fort Worth crooner. This album really featured a lot of retro soul sound, supported by strong lead and backing vocals. Instrumentation, I thought, also is nothing to sneeze at. Some key tracks that we discussed, Shine, Pull Away, and River, one that's really grown on me afterwards. Kevin was a little lukewarm on this one, but I really enjoyed it. You know, you mentioned girl band being a band to keep an eye on. I think Leon Bridges also an up-and-coming act to follow, and you know, just really great sound introducing himself on his debut, Coming Home.
Yeah, he's making a sound that no one else is really doing right now, which makes that one a really good album. Speaking of sounds that no one else is doing, actually, Young Fathers, White Men Are Black Men Too, their sophomore album that came out this year. They are an experimental hip-hop trio based in Edinburgh, Scotland. Derek said it was gritty and industrial synth and beats, laying groundwork for pop, sensible melodies, and politically charged lyrics. I would have to agree. The album gave us tracks like Shame and Liberated, and their debut album actually won them the Mercury Prize, and that's no surprise here, especially on their follow-up. Young Fathers are just one of the most inventive and I think thought-provoking artists in music today, and this album is proof of that. And what's next for you, Derek?
Again, on the theme of, you know, acts doing sounds that no one else is really doing. American Man by the Yawpers. This was their sophomore album. They're a Boulder-based trio. They really have a unique sound featuring heavily distorted acoustic guitars, blaring drums. So really, I think it's just a blending of classic Americana and rock elements, being instruments, effects. The way they're played together is really fascinating. The lyrics on this album really do focus on a number of intriguing subjects, character studies. Kevin, you mentioned that specifically in our review. So really a very interesting band with a great sound to follow from here on out. But, you know, American Man really captured my attention.
Nice. Yeah, that was a good one. And shifting from new sounds to more traditional ones, my last one on the list is the Turnpike Troubadours self-titled album, the Turnpike Troubadours. It's the fourth album from Oklahoma's Americana roots country band. Derek and I compared it to Todd Snyder, Johnny Cash, Woody Guthrie, and Red Dirt and Country Rock. The Bird Hunters, Time of Day, Long Drive Home, Easton and Maine, all great tracks coming off of this album. They have a knack for doing classic country, but still has this fun, fresh energy. They can nail every style of country, from things that touch on rock to blues to more acoustic. The songwriting here is top-notch as always, not just in the lyrics, but in tight, elegant composition. And this album, I think, is particularly great for road trips, especially long drives through the country. And there you have it, guys. The top 10 albums of 2015, according to Derek and I. We would love to hear what you think of our top 10 list and any albums you think should have made the list that didn't. Couldn't fit them all in, unfortunately, but these are the ones we think deserve the highest praise for this year. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to us here at Last Week's Album, the only reviews with two different views. As always, I'm Kevin.
I'm Derek.
Cheers, guys. We'll see you next time.